Hello friends! We're going to discuss high-profile incidents and tragic cases that have happened in sunny Poland. From a brutal crime in the Dobrzyń municipality to fatal incidents on the water and in the mountains. Why human negligence, alcohol and ignoring basic safety rules lead to tragedies. Let's closely observe the cause and effect relationships. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Friends, thank you so much for your support. Give a like to support aerodynamics. And write in the comments right away. Bald guy, why aren't you at the front? Bald guy, why aren't you at the beach? Now let's get down to business. The first story is shocking. It'll make your hair stand on end. It happened in the Dobrzyń municipality. That's in the Łódź voivodeship, which is pretty much in the heart of sunny Poland. And even after, let's say, the whole analysis, there's still a very unpleasant aftertaste. We're not just talking about some crime here, which of course we also condemn, but about months-long abuse of a person who found himself in an extremely vulnerable position. According to the prosecutor's office, from May to October of 2024, by the way, this also speaks to the sluggishness of the Polish justice system, 4 young people systematically abused a 43-year-old man with a disability. He was beaten, held in abandoned buildings, humiliated, and forced to perform acts that investigators classify as sexual violence. Some of them abused him. The episodes, according to investigators, were also filmed on their phones. Just wonderful. This raises a question that goes far beyond this particular criminal case. What must be going on in people's minds for someone else's humiliation to be seen not as something terrible or sad, but simply as entertainment? The end of this story turned out to be tragic. On October 8, 2024, the man suffered severe injuries, including head trauma. He was taken to the hospital, but they couldn't save him. 4 young people will stand trial. They are not Ukrainians. 2 of them have been charged with murder committed with particular cruelty. All 4 are accused of abuse and brutal beatings, and 3 of them are charged with the violence I mentioned. It is especially telling that at the time of the events, the accused were already between 15 and 18 years old. 3 of them had already reached the age of 17. 1, despite being younger, will also be tried as an adult. The examination found all of them responsible, guilty, and none of them had been convicted before. Now 3 are under arrest. The 4th has a different pretrial restriction, and the final decision in this case will be made by the court. But even now, it's clear that age does not exempt them from responsibility. And the tragedy of one person shows just how dangerous a complete lack of human boundaries in a group can be. Friends, if you have children, teenagers, 15 to 17 years old, write in and tell us what's happening with you. Or maybe, I hope everything is fine with you. But really, what is this? Damn? Sorry? I hope my mom isn't watching this video. Well, there are just no other words. Next, next. Another terrible and completely senseless tragedy. Legnica, a body of water not designated for swimming. It's hot. A young 21-year-old guy, a Ukrainian, comes to the beach with a group of friends. What do you think they're doing there? They're relaxing, and in between they're drinking alcohol. Now let's look at the cause and effect relationship. Yeah, well, I don't know. I guess I'm a grown man now. Yeah. I'm 40 years old, and for me this is basic safety 101. The guy can't swim. Damn, you can't swim. Why are you swimming in unfamiliar, dangerous water after drinking? Especially since Polish lakes aren't meant for it. I've been to many places, but there are still many I haven't seen. But in my experience, Polish lakes aren't for swimming. This isn't just a tragic accident, it's pure recklessness. A second, that's it. Couldn't touch the bottom anymore, started drowning. The guy is screaming. Someone pulls him out onto the shore, rescuers, police. They fight for his life for 40 minutes. They perform resuscitation, they got his pulse back, he was taken to the hospital, but still on Monday he dies. A young guy, his whole life ahead of him, 21 years old. But apparently he wasn't subscribed to the channel and didn't know that water doesn't forgive stupidity, and when combined with alcohol, it's a deadly trap. Had a drink? Why are you even going in? You can't swim. Stay away from the water altogether. Yeah. Safety rules, well then, they're not made up for nothing. Each one is written with someone's blood, someone's life. Right. Next, let's go. The third story, also an absolutely wild case. Masuria. By the way, I haven't been to Masuria. Who has been there? Write in the comments. How is it? Lake Jagodne. It was a Sunday. Hot, obviously, yeah. The water was absolutely packed. Boats, jet skis, vacationers. And here's a 16-year-old guy with his father. But this one is not Ukrainian. Although nationality doesn't matter at all here. They rented powerful jet skis. How did the ride end? With a terrible collision with a boat at full speed. And unfortunately, the teenager's instant death. Causality is key in these stories. Really though, they should have asked, do you have a license to drive? But now is all about money. What license? Just get on and go. The lake is overcrowded. The traffic is heavy. And a jet ski, damn, well, it's not some harmless amusement ride. It's a serious, heavy, very fast machine that requires control, experience, and split-second reactions. What's happening? An underage guy is given a machine like this, right in the middle of absolute chaos on the water. A second of inattention. One wrong move, and he crashes into a motorboat. There was a married couple there, and that's it. The guy's life ended. He was 16. The prosecutor's office orders examinations, checks the technical condition of the boats. They question the father. I mean, the father must be devastated, right? The witnesses are also in shock, but the guy can't be brought back. I don't get what the dad was thinking. High speed, heavy traffic, wanted to go for a ride, and on top of that, no experience. But in my opinion, this already is a recipe for disaster. Any vehicle, even a bicycle, requires responsibility, discipline, and the sober assessment of the situation, not just excitement and the desire to ride fast. In short, take care of yourselves and your kids. Friends, we have another story that's both interesting and tragic. More news from the water. Croatia, the Istria Peninsula. A 40-year-old Pole goes for a dive. The depth is 20 meters. And while still underwater, the man starts feeling unwell. He was quickly pulled out. He was taken by boat to the bay and resuscitated, but they couldn't save him. That's what happened. Well, it's sad, of course, right? The person went on vacation, but honestly, I don't know why anyone would go on vacation in August. Well, actually, I get it, because some people can't go at any other time because they have kids, work, and everything else. But man, it's so hot. Especially at 20 meters underwater, it's not like a pool. The pressure is immense, putting huge strain on the cardiovascular system and the entire body. It's not simply putting on scuba gear and walking to the bottom. You really need physical training and discipline here. Right. It's unclear whether his health failed him. Maybe he didn't even suspect that something could go wrong with him and everything was happening at depth. And then, in a second, it turned into a catastrophe. The Croatian police are investigating and uncovering details, but the fact remains, the person is gone. I don't know. As I get older, I sort of understand, right? At 30, I would have gone on some extreme rides. Now, I wouldn't do that anymore. Extreme recreation, deep diving, it's not just a vacation activity. It involves enormous risk. Assess your health honestly. For example, I won't visit Nordjylland again. I'll join for the company, but won't do extreme rides anymore. Water, getting back to the topic, doesn't give you a second chance and doesn't forgive Polish, it'll work out somehow, or any other kind. Next, we teleport to Spain, the Pyrenees, the Ara Valley. The altitude is 2,300 meters above sea level. Our compatriot, a Pole, goes into the mountains, slips and falls into an abyss. He doesn't die. A helicopter and special team arrived, but no one was left to save. They could only declare him dead. Well, that's high altitude for you, my friends. It's a harsh environment. By the way, we've already talked about the Tatras. 2,000 meters above sea level. This isn't some kind of park for a stroll. One wrong step, a loss of concentration, a slippery, rocky trail, and that's it, a fatal fall. Well, gravity doesn't give people a chance to make mistakes. Well, actually, the mountains are really beautiful, yes. I'll tell you, even in Podbeskidzie, even if you climb Mogurka, it's so beautiful there. But these mountains don't forgive carelessness or overestimating your own strength. Focus, equipment, perfect knowledge of the route. Well, although I'll tell you, it also depends on which hills. There are just hills where you simply go up and down, and then there are those with cliffs and everything else. So there, can't relax, get distracted or drink beer. Yes, the police are investigating, well, as they say, and not just as they say. As we've said many times, you can't bring a person back. Mountains are very beautiful, but also a deadly, extremely dangerous force of nature. Assess your abilities soberly, dear friends, both literally and figuratively. Don't rely on luck. Don't lose your vigilance. And take care of yourselves, because there are so few of you as it is. You give me very few likes. Well, actually, I'll tell you that with age, I guess I am probably becoming more of a fatalist. If, for example, a person unfortunately fell somewhere in the mountains, well, that means it was their fate. No one knows when or how we will meet our end. On this philosophical note, I wish you a good and peaceful weekend. Take care of yourselves and your loved ones. That's all for now. See you next time, and a big hello to the working class. Write your professions in the comments.